In Joshua chapter 9, when all the kings west of the Jordan River, the Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, heard about Israel's recent victories, they gathered together to fight against Joshua and the Israelites. But when the people of Gibeon heard of what they had done to Jericho and Ai, instead of fighting, they turned to deception, loading their donkeys with weathered saddlebags, dry, moldy bread, and old, cracked wineskins. They sent their ambassadors to Joshua, dressed in old, patched-up sandals and ragged clothing. Then they traveled to Joshua's camp at Gilgal, and said to him and the men of Israel, "We have come from a distant country. Please make a treaty with us." The Israelites replied to the Hivites, "How do we know you aren't living nearby? Because if you do, we cannot make a treaty with you." "Well, then we will be your servants," they said. "Who are you?" Joshua commanded, "and where did you come from?" "We have traveled from a very distant land, because we have heard of the Lord your God, his fame and everything he did in Egypt, and what he did to the 2 Amorite kings across the Jordan River, Sihon of Heshbon and Og of Bashan at Ashtaroth. So our leaders and all our people told us, 'Gather supplies for the journey, and go, meet them and say to them, we are your servants. Therefore, please make a treaty with us. Now, look at our bread. It was fresh and hot from the oven when we started out, but now it's dry and moldy. And these wineskins were new, but now they are cracked and old. And see how our clothes and sandals are worn out from our long journey.' So the Israelites looked at the men's food, and they didn't ask the Lord what they should do. Then Joshua made a peace treaty with them and promised to let them live, and the leaders of the congregation gave their word under oath. 3 days later, the Israelites heard that these men actually lived close by them. So the Israelites traveled to their cities, and sure enough, they reached them on the 3rd day, the cities of Gibeon, Chephirah, Beeroth, and Kiriath Jearim. But they didn't attack the cities because the Israelite leaders had sworn an oath by the Lord God of Israel. When the Israelites heard about this, they all grumbled against the leaders. But the leaders said, "We've sworn by the Lord God of Israel, so now we may not harm them. We must let them live, or else the Lord's anger will fall upon us for breaking our vow. Here is what we will do. We will let them live, but they will serve as woodcutters and water carriers for the community, just as we promised." Then Joshua summoned the Gibeonites and demanded, "Why did you deceive us by claiming you were from a distant land, when in fact you live here among us? Because of this, you are now under a curse. You will never be released from your duties as servants, as woodcutters and water carriers for the house of my God." "We did this," they said to Joshua, "because we learned that the Lord your God had commanded Moses to give you all the land and to destroy all the people who lived in it. We feared for our lives, so we acted this way. And now we are in your hands. Do whatever seems fair and right." So Joshua spared their lives, but he made them cut wood and draw water for the congregation and for the Lord's altar, wherever the Lord chose to build it. And that is what the Gibeonites do to this day.
Rumors rode the desert when the walls of Jericho were dust, and I lay silent, smoke rings fading in the dust. Gibeon felt the tremor, fear drummed in every chest. So they swapped their pride for beggars' rags and hobbled toward the west. Cracked wineskins on their donkeys, crumbs of yesterday's bread. They bowed before the Hebrews. "We've come from far off," they said. "Ask the Lord before you move. Lift your eyes before you vow. Let his light your path improve. Trust his voice, he'll show you how. One still breath with God can guide. His voice will whisper if you will pray. So wait and listen through the night. Only then will you know the right way." Joshua watched their story spill beneath the noonday glare. He weighed their tattered sandals, yet never stopped to pray. 3 days down the road weighed, truth cut clean and hard. The strangers' homes were over the hill just past the olive yard. Now a covenant binds them. Israel must must keep its word. Ask the Lord before you move, lift your eyes before you vow. Let His light your path improve, trust His voice, He'll show you how. One still breath with God can guide, His voice will whisper if you will pray. So wait and listen through the night, only then will you know the right way. Axes ring at dawn in Shiloh, water jars knock soft at night. Gibeon's fear became their shelter, bound by oath and Yahweh's light. Ask the Lord before you move, lift your eyes before you vow. Let His light your path improve, trust His voice, He'll show you how. One step